Imagine this. You're lost at sea. The horizon burns like a line of fire, blurring sky and water into one merciless colour. The air tastes like rust, thick, heavy, and alive with salt. Your skin is cracked. Your throat feels like sandpaper. Every breath scrapes your lungs like glass shards. You try not to think about it, but the thought keeps circling back, louder each time. Water, everywhere. So close, so perfect, so blue it almost hurts to look at. You scoop up a handful and drink. For one blissful second, relief. Cool liquid slides down your throat and you almost cry from pleasure. The taste is sharp, metallic, wrong, but it doesn't matter. You close your eyes, convinced you've just cheated death. Then comes the pain. It starts small, a burn at the back of your throat, a twist deep in your gut. Then your body takes over, violently. Every cell screams wrong. The salt scrapes your tongue raw, your stomach tightens like it's swallowing knives. In less than a minute, your body knows what your mind refuses to believe. You didn't drink salvation. You drank a trap. You thought you called firefighters, but they showed up with flamethrowers. Because what you've just swallowed isn't water. It's a chemical weapon. A hypersaline cocktail so dense it rewrites the rules of your biology. Inside you, millions of cells are fighting for their lives. Your blood chemistry, once perfectly balanced, is now in chaos. Osmosis, that quiet law of life that normally keeps you alive, is about to turn on you. You feel the first cramps curling through your gut, a slow, twisting ache rising beneath your ribs. You try to breathe, but your mouth is already dry again. Each heartbeat feels like it's echoing inside your skull. The ocean gave you a drink and took something back. Before we find out what happens next, hit subscribe. Because here on Crazy Science Stories, we dive into the weirdest, wildest true tales of science, the kind that sound impossible until they're real. In the next few minutes, you'll discover what really happens inside your body when you drink seawater, why your own biology turns against you, and the surprising tricks that could actually save your life if you were stranded in the middle of the ocean. Who knows? One day, this might be the knowledge that makes the difference between life and saltwater death. Now, let's get back to our story. You think you've quenched your thirst, but your body is about to betray you. It starts quietly. No explosions, no drama, just molecules moving in the wrong direction. Within minutes, your body realizes it's been tricked. Seawater contains about 35 grams of salt per litre, 3 times more than your blood can handle. That difference may sound small, but biology is not forgiving. Your body is an orchestra, and you've just handed it a wrong note that ruins the entire symphony. Your cells, loyal but doomed, rush to fix the chaos. To balance the salt outside, they begin to release water from within. It's desperate diplomacy, giving up their own reserves to restore peace. But there's no peace coming. One by one, the cells collapse inward, shriveling like grapes left in the desert. You don't hydrate, you dry out, from the inside out. Your blood, once smooth and graceful, turns thick like syrup. Your heart beats harder, faster, trying to push this heavy fluid through narrow veins. The strain builds, your pulse drums in your temples. Meanwhile, your kidneys, those quiet, perfect filters working day and night to keep you alive, start to panic. They were built to remove waste, to clean your blood, but even miracles have limits. They can only process small amounts of salt at a time, To flush out the sodium now flooding your system, they must sacrifice your remaining water. So, in trying to save you, they begin to destroy you, draining your body's reserves drop by drop. Imagine your body hosting a staff meeting. The kidneys are threatening to quit, the heart's working overtime, and the brain shouting, "Who drank the poison?" Inside you, chemistry is turning cannibal. That's osmosis, the invisible law that keeps all life in balance. Water always moves towards saltier environments. It doesn't care about your willpower, your logic, or your survival instinct. It follows the gradient, blindly loyal to physics. So every sip of seawater is another signature on your death contract. Your body is giving away its own water to the ocean inside you, molecule by molecule, and losing the war. Your lips are cracking, your tongue sticks to your teeth, your throat feels raw, as if you've swallowed sand. You crave more water, even as it kills you. You start to glance at the ocean again, tempted by its shimmer, by the promise that it can't possibly be that bad twice. But chemistry isn't your only enemy anymore. There's something far worse coming: thirst itself. Your kidneys can only process water with up to 2% salt. Seawater, 3.5. That tiny difference, barely 1.5%, might as well be a canyon. Every drop you swallow costs your body twice as much water as it gains. It's a trade deal written by the devil himself. At first you barely notice. You feel lightheaded, a bit dizzy. The ocean glimmers. Maybe you even think the worst is over. But inside, your blood is turning into brine. Your pressure spikes, your pulse races, and your heart fights harder to keep the thickened fluid moving. Your tongue swells until it presses against your teeth. Your lips split. The skin around your eyes cracks. Even your eyeballs begin to dry, a slow burn behind your sockets. Inside your skull, your brain cells are shrinking, pulling away from the bone like raisins in the sun. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline, except the fire is inside your veins. The science behind it is as cruel as it is elegant. As sodium levels rise, your neurons lose their ability to communicate properly. Electrical signals short-circuit. The delicate balance of electrolytes, sodium, potassium, calcium, collapses, and your brain begins to misfire. You can't think straight. You can't tell what's real. You can't even trust your own thirst. Your body starts sending false signals, demanding more of the very thing that's killing it. You crave salt water like an addict, convinced salvation lies in another sip, and you obey because your brain has already crossed the border between reason and chaos. 6 hours later, delirium takes hold. The horizon starts to shimmer, not from heat, but from the neurons inside your brain firing in chaos. You hear sounds that aren't there, whispers, waves, the phantom creak of a boat that doesn't exist. 12 hours later, the hallucinations arrive. You see land that isn't real, rain that never falls. You reach for it, swallowing mouthfuls of poison again and again. 24 hours later, your muscles seize, twisting violently. Fever scorches through your bloodstream as your organs begin to fail. Your thoughts drift in fragments. Childhood laughter, faces you loved, half-remembered songs, all dissolving into the sound of the sea. And as your consciousness fades, you look out at the endless water and realize it's laughing at you. This sounds like madness, but it's not just theory. It happened, and the records are terrifying. This isn't a fable. It's history, recorded by sailors, soldiers, and scientists who learned the hard way that the sea doesn't forgive mistakes. During World War II, Hundreds of men were stranded in the Pacific, adrift for days beneath a punishing sun. Most had survived explosions, storms, even sharks. But thirst, invisible, silent, was the one enemy they couldn't outsmart. The US Navy later collected their stories, a mix of science report and nightmare diary. One entry describes a man who began drinking seawater on the second day, convinced a few sips wouldn't hurt. Within hours, his lips cracked and his eyes glazed over. He accused his crewmates of hoarding water, then jumped into the ocean, laughing as he swam away. Another survivor recalled a pilot who rationed seawater like medicine, 1 spoonful every few hours. He said it was working, the report reads. Then he started shouting at the clouds. He was dead by morning. By the end of the war, doctors had a grim equation. A man who drinks seawater dies in roughly half the time of a man who drinks nothing. Thirst kills, but salt kills faster. The logic is cruelly simple. When you drink seawater, your blood salinity rises, forcing your cells to release their own water to restore balance. That process, osmosis, drains every tissue in your body, from your muscles to your brain. The kidneys try to help, filtering the blood, but they can only expel salt by sacrificing even more water. Each attempt at correction worsens the imbalance. It's like trying to bail out a sinking boat with holes in the bucket. Modern studies confirm what those sailors discovered by dying. Even small amounts of seawater, a few gulps, can spike sodium levels enough to trigger confusion, nausea, and muscle spasms. Within hours, dehydration accelerates and the body overheats. The brain loses coordination. Delirium sets in. Victims describe hallucinations so vivid they feel real. Phantom rain falling from a blue sky. Distant voices calling their names. The illusion of rescue ships rising on the horizon. One 1950s experiment with volunteer test subjects tried to quantify the effect. After just 2 glasses of diluted seawater, the participants' blood pressure skyrocketed. They reported burning thirst, pounding headaches, and a metallic taste that lingered for days. The conclusion was painfully straightforward. There is no safe dose of seawater. Even whales and seabirds, creatures designed by evolution to live surrounded by salt, avoid drinking the ocean. They rely on freshwater sources from prey or internal desalination systems humans simply don't have. Evolution never planned for us to live in the sea, only to fear it. Think about that irony. We conquered flight, split the atom, landed on the moon, yet a sip of the wrong water still kills us. The same element that defines our planet and makes up 2/3 of our own bodies turns deadly when it crosses a microscopic threshold. It's strange, almost poetic, to die of thirst in the middle of an ocean, to have abundance all around you and still perish because your biology refuses the gift. The ocean doesn't drown you, it drains you. Slowly, invisibly. And when you drink it, it doesn't fight back violently. It simply lets you destroy yourself, one swallow at a time. So the lesson carved into every sailor's journal, every survival manual, every modern study remains the same. If you ever find yourself lost at sea, resist the temptation. No matter how desperate, no matter how dry your throat feels, the ocean is not offering you life. It's offering you a trade. And like every deal with the sea, it ends the same way, in silence. So if drinking the ocean means death, how do you cheat it? You can't fight chemistry, but you can outsmart it. Every survival expert will tell you the same thing. In the ocean, patience is everything. You can't beat salt, you can only outlast it. The real trick isn't strength, it's physics. The simplest saviour is rain. If you're lucky enough to see clouds, stretch out anything you can. A shirt, a tarp, even your bare hands. Each drop is a tiny reprieve, a small act of mercy from a sky that's been watching you suffer. But when the rain refuses to fall, you turn to invention. Sailors and survivalists have learned to make solar stills, small contraptions that turn sunlight into salvation. A sheet of plastic stretched over a bowl traps evaporating seawater, which condenses into drinkable droplets. It's slow, cruelly slow, but it works. Nature gives you poison and antidote in the same breath, if you have the patience to separate them. On modern ships, there's a more elegant miracle: desalination technology. Machines that do what your kidneys can't. They force seawater through microscopic filters at enormous pressure, stripping away salt molecules and leaving pure water behind. The process is called reverse osmosis, the same principle that once betrayed you, now harnessed to save you. It's poetic, really. The law of nature that killed sailors for centuries now bends to our will, turning the ocean into a fountain. But even these machines come with irony built in. They're loud, fragile, and hungry for power. Cut the electricity, and they become useless. Without human innovation, without civilization itself, the ocean goes back to being what it's always been: undrinkable. And if you're stranded, far from any technology, you go primal. You eat the ocean instead. Fish, to be exact. It sounds revolting, but the liquid inside fish tissue is naturally low in salt. Even the moisture trapped in their eyes is fresh enough to drink. It's the most disgusting miracle evolution ever designed. Through osmosis, marine animals constantly fight the same battle that's killing you. Their cells are equipped with special proteins that pump salt out faster than it seeps in. They're built for this war. You're not. Every fish around you is better at surviving the ocean than you. And you're supposed to be the apex predator. Humans conquered flight, decoded DNA, even walked on the moon. And yet, most of the planet's water still mocks us. It surrounds us, glistens with promise, and kills us if we touch it. Maybe that's the real story here. Not just a tale of salt and survival, but of humility. Our genius has built desalination plants powerful enough to turn deserts green, but our own biology still can't handle a single mouthful of the sea. We keep trying to control what should simply be respected, and maybe that's why, out there in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by infinite blue, the smartest move isn't to fight the ocean, but to wait. Because sometimes survival isn't about conquering nature. It's about admitting that you never really stood a chance against it. Seawater isn't just deadly, it's symbolic. It's the perfect reflection of human temptation, beautiful, limitless, and lethal when consumed. We've always been drawn to what we can't have. The ocean glows like salvation, promising relief, abundance, even eternity. But the moment you reach for it, the moment you try to take it into yourself, it becomes poison. That's not just chemistry, that's us. We spend our lives chasing things that shimmer just out of reach. Money, fame, youth, love that doesn't fade. All those bright, unreachable things that seem to promise peace, and yet leave us emptier, thirstier than before. We build machines to control the sea, technology to fight time, stories to cheat death. But we never stop reaching for the salt. The ocean gives everything except mercy. It doesn't hate you, it simply doesn't care. It's older than your species, deeper than your dreams, and utterly indifferent to your survival. Salt, after all, is a preservative. It keeps things from decaying, but it also keeps them from living. That's the paradox of existence itself. The same elements that sustain life in moderation destroy it in excess. Too much air, too much heat, too much ambition, and the system collapses. Maybe that's the quiet lesson hiding inside the science. That balance isn't weakness, it's the only way to live. So the next time you stand before the sea, staring at its endless glitter, remember what it really is. It's not an enemy, not a saviour, just a mirror. A vast, shimmering reflection of human desire. It offers everything but water, but it keeps the last sip for itself. And maybe that's why we can't look away. So tell me, would you drink or die thirsty? Because in the end, that's what every discovery is. A gamble between wonder and destruction. From the first spark of fire to the first sip of seawater, humanity keeps testing the limits of what it can survive and what it shouldn't touch. The ocean, the atom, the algorithm, they all whisper the same thing. Try me. And we always do. See you soon for another plunge into the wild, impossible world of crazy science stories.